What's up, everybody? It's your favorite No Outlets, favorite nerd, and today we are looking at Fanstoys Bandit, otherwise known as Deadend, the figure that we have waited, I think, El Total 9 years for. I think it's 9 years since announcement. Not of this figure, but of the Stunticons. I got this from Nick the Toy Guy. He's a pleasure to do business with. His website information is in the description. If you're on the East Coast specifically, he's really our only option to kind of get stuff relatively quick. So I highly recommend him. He's a really good dude. We're going to do Minosaur on a different day. You guys may have already seen the Minosaur video. If you haven't, it's coming. It all depends on what I got done first. Side note, on my Teespring, I did a joke shirt, like if you know, you know, of No Outlet with Bandit on top of it. Because Bandit has now been released, I will be deleting that shirt off my store. I'm going to leave it up for the week and then it's gone. So if you're interested, the link to that is in the description as well. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. But you know where we start. We start with accessories. So he comes with an alternate face where the mouth sits below the nose. That's not my preference, but I think sometimes in the cartoon it's like this, sometimes it's the other way. I think this might be most common. I'm not entirely sure, but it's not my preference. But it's nice that they included both and that I get the other one. So if you want this, then go for it. You know, make it more accurate. But I'm happy that they included both options. And then you get two guns, and they are seemingly identical. I think they are, which is nice, and they're painted well, they're sculpted well. I don't really have any complaints. And then the handle folds up. And he holds them in typical Masterpiece fashion with a peg into the palm of the hand, and he holds them just fine. The guns, once the handles are flipped up like we showed, can clip onto the spoiler, but it is hard to get it. There, that one looked easy. I struggled with the other one, and it is a tight fit, so just use caution if this is very important to you, because I would imagine, yep, that it's going to scratch the paint. So, on both sides. So, come on, man. Yeah, use caution. Now, before we get started in typical Fanstoys fashion, it comes in the box mistransformed. So the most, kind of obvious one is this part. And so this is right. Make sure that that's plugged into the back there. And then untab this, and this just sits down around on the back against the back. Then you think that the elbows are, but they're not. Then you have what's going on down here in the leg. So there have been reports of people having this section not tabbed in. Mine came tabbed in. But if not, you open it up and you attach that little armature. Close that. So the only other part really is so you bring it down, extend it, and then bring it up. Toe down. It'll flip up, extend it, bring it down, make sure that you got your ankle rockers. That's kind of really what it affords you. And then he's ready to go. Let's take a look at him. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure, and we'll get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis. First of all, I want to say this figure feels very light in comparison to other Fanstoys figures. Feels very similar in weight to the DX9. The X-Transbots feels heavier, for instance, and all of the other Minosaur or Stunticons from Fanstoys feel heavier. That probably has something to do with their difficulty in figuring out how to make the combine mode work and part of the delay that we had. All right. I love this head sculpt. I don't know if it's more accurate or less accurate. I don't care. I like it better. The metallic pink or fuchsia maybe on the eyes looks great. Metallic gold, and then the gunmetal for the helmet. Hinge swivel, get you up, get you a swivel, and a little bit down. Looks good. Shoulders are actually double hinged. I'm not sure, so that it gets you way up, which is nice. And then a soft ratchet around, which is fine, but not optimal. Not as much as a hard ratchet. All right, bicep swivel. Fully painted, this like gunmetal-esque color, and then the burgundy. And then we have the burgundy paint on the forearms. The elbow is double jointed, but one joint is really tight, and then the second joint gets you, and using both joints, there it is squared up. Using both joints, you don't even get close to 90 degrees. Don't like it. Poor form. I hate to see it. Anyway, that looks good. Little bump out there with the little paint. I like the little details there. That looks good. Even inside here, a couple little choices just helps bring it to life a bit. Not crazy about that huge tab or gap there for a Fanstoys figure anyway. Okay, moving right along. Wrist swivel, and then the fingers are on a base pin knuckle, but they are individually articulated, and they come out to a secondary knuckle, which I think is fine. You know, a lot of figures have the extra knuckle. I don't think you need it. I think that's just fine. And then the thumb is on a ball peg. All right, then we have the chest. Nice paint here on the chest. We have the 2 shades of silver, arguably 3 shades, and then the gunmetal-esque, which looks great, like the smoky charcoal almost looks fantastic. And then the arm articulation, same as the other side. Waist swivel, but you bump up against the backpack. Can you move the backpack to help? Maybe, but who cares? You're not supposed to. So you get about, I don't know, 15, 25 degrees maybe on both sides, which honestly, I'm of two minds about this sort of stuff. So on one hand, it's unacceptable because it's just not the industry standard and you're paying an awful lot of money and you should at least get the industry standard. On the second hand, you're probably not going to need all that much more than this. So I personally think they should have more. If you were to be like, well, how much more do you really need for posing and stuff? You're probably also right. Okay, hip skirts. They'll flip up and get out of the way, both on the front and on the side. And then we can look at the charcoal, metallic charcoal-esque paint there on the thighs. That looks good. Little details on the knees. I like that as well. You get universals for hips. That get you a little bit past the full Van Damme. Ratchets, nice ratchets. Forward and back for, I say that's the full Monty at least. Thigh swivel. Close down our hip skirts. Knee. Single hinge, get you a little shy of 90 degrees, which is a bummer. They go with the very cartoon take on the lower legs, which I don't particularly like. I actually think I sat there and tried to fix it so that like you could spin something so that this stuff was on the outside, but accuracy, and it just ends up not looking as good to me, but that's okay. At least we get some details and stuff. That looks good. Unfortunately, like the messier side isn't hidden on the inside. You have the car panels that are, you know, so like you lose a little bit there, which is a bit of a bummer. Ankles, you get it's not really an ankle tilt down. It's like more like an elongated toe tilt down. You get a toe tilt up, but you get this little piece here that's not entirely right either, but you do get a great ankle rocker. So that much is good to go. And then there he is from the back. You know, so unfortunately, he's my favorite character. He's my favorite Stunicon for sure, and he's probably their least impressive of the four. And in all honesty, let's do some size comparisons. Let's look at some other Deadends. Size comparison wise, there he is with some other Deadends. As you may or may not know, Deadend is my favorite character from Transformers. So I have quite a few. This isn't all, that's not a flex, just the truth. I had the Fans Project one, the animated one, maybe another one I can't remember, all in alt mode. So I'll show them during the alt mode section, but yeah. So about the same size as the DX9. The DX9 was actually gifted to me from Sony, who collaborated with some folks and had a custom made for me, which was really quite thoughtful. It's a custom paint job. That's a one of one. That means none before it, none to come. And then Transformation all the way to the left. Magic Square sits betwixt his legs, so to speak. And then you have X-Transbots to your right, to Deadend's left, and then the Combiner Wars one. I had the other Hasbro one too, he's just in combine mode. So hopefully that gives you some sort of an idea. Always good to see some Deadends. Unless you're trying to not see a Deadend and kind of keep moving on a road or something, then it's bad, of course, to see a Deadend. And there he is with the rest of the Stunicons. Definitely my least favorite of the five, which is a bummer because he's, you know, I keep saying it, but I guess maybe that's just my luck, you know. But there he is, and You know, I think if I'll have to move them into more stoic poses to accommodate Deadend, and get them to look good together. Because right now, with the more kind of dynamic poses, specifically with Wild Rider and Breakdown, but also Drag Strip to an extent, Deadend looks rough. So that's something I'll fix in the future. Let's get him transformed. So, open up this arm bit here, flip the side mirror out, and also open up this panel. And I'm gonna grab a spudger that I should have done when I started this and I didn't, and now I gotta pay the price. But get that piece open, make the fist, tuck the hand inside, then you want to actually accordion this on a double hinge, and then fold all that back up. We're going to do the same on this side. Make a fist, open this up, open your side view mirror, open that up, fold the hand in, close this, plug it in. I don't know if you're supposed to close that yet. No, you're alright to close that. Collapse the joint, and then close the top. Alright, done. Take the head, I think you gotta spin the head around. Take this piece, bring that up, and sit it kind of back where it was when you started. And then this stuff all unfurls. And this collapses down until you can form the front of the hood properly. That's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Intuitive. And then you gotta untab this chest piece. It tabs into two spots there. Flip that open, and then collapse your flank pieces. And then your shoulder pieces, you can move these up just to get them out of the way. Your shoulder pieces will come up. I don't know why I think, oh no, we gotta extend. So, extend the body. Yeah, shoulders come up and down. And all of this stuff has to tab in underneath. You see how this has got to go. What am I having? So, pretty simple mistake. Just tuck these flank pieces around to the back. And then that should give you the clearance to get those arms in nice and tight. And then just make sure you get under that panel. And over on that one. So same on this side, make sure your mirror stays out. Tuck it in, get under there, and get over there. Top done. All right, lower body, extend the legs, and we're gonna come to the inside. We're gonna flip this panel up. We're gonna flip that panel open. We're gonna flip one out, and we're gonna flip three in. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna bring the foot and collapse that the way that it was. I don't know why this eats me up. There, the way that it was in robot mode. I mean, like before we fixed it. And we're gonna bring the locking mechanism that we talked about for the knee out. And then rotate it towards the back window. And then rotate the foot in at the heel. All right. Then we're going to rotate this around. Red piece comes 1, red piece comes 2, red piece comes 3. All right, so same thing on the other side, pretty straightforward. Flap 1, flap 2, open that all the way up, fold 1 out, fold 3 in. 1, 2, 3. Unpeg your knee locking mechanism, which is on this side, and then rotate it down, and then rotate it down all the way. Collapse your and it eats me up every single time. And then fold at the heel all the way around till it sits nice and flat inside of that cavity. And then wrap the car around. Panel 1, panel 2, panel 3. Collapse these together. Collapse them into the pelvis. Collapse this onto the waist. It's like a double hinge. Smush it all together. And then bring, mine's not quite right, obviously. Bring this down, that tabs in, and then these two pieces tab in underneath. You're good to go. I'll clean it up, close that gap up as best I can, and we'll take a look at it. So there we have it. I can't get this closed all the way, like this way. I like put it between my knees, so to speak, and like try to crush it. I can't get it. Everything else is fine. Like it's tabbed in at the back, fine. It's tabbed in at the doors, fine. It's tabbed into the windshield, fine. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This all tabs in underneath, keeps it together, which is nice. Rolls like a champ on rubber tires. Chrome wheels, that looks good. We have the blue headlights, that looks good. The yellow headlights with translucent plastic for both, that looks good. The orange accents there, and then the yellow lights there at the back, which is a weird choice, but that looks good as well. It might be real world accurate, I'm not sure. Porsche 928, I believe. I'm not a car guy. And I like the windshield wiper. Little real world detail. Same for up here, coming through and making it work. You know, the lines and stuff are okay. Once again, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if I did something or what, but it's not quite right in that regard. So I'm not sure, but it's fine. Let's do some size comparisons. So there it is next to Tiger Tracks. So, you know, about the size of an MP car. Let me show you what else I got. There it is with the rest of the Fanstoys cars. I don't have Motormaster, but in alt mode anyway, but you know, hopefully that's of some value to you. They look good together. And there it is with the X-Transbots, the Transformers Animated, and the Fans Project. So a couple different options to take a look at anyway that I hope is of some value to you. It's at least a little cool for me to be able to put them all together for once and arguably the last time, because I don't foresee myself buying another Deadend. If Takara did one, I might be tempted, but other than that, I'm probably done. Final thoughts-wise, let's start with the negative, and I have a fair amount to say. Articulation limitations. We'll start there. Less than 90 degrees on a double-jointed elbow. Less than 90 degrees on the knees. Less than 90 degrees on the waist swivel. No ab crunch. No billified joint. No proper ankle tilt down or up. And you can make the argument, no proper toe tilt up. That's all objective. Now, you cannot criticize that if you choose to, but it doesn't mean that it has anything to do with my take. That's just a fact. But let's have some of my takes. I think it's lighter than the rest of the Stunticons. Actually, I know it's lighter than the rest of the Stunticons. That's a fact. I'm trying to get to my takes, but the facts just keep getting in my way. Let's try again. The use of soft ratchets doesn't feel like something in Fanstoys' pocket. Feels out of place. Those hard ratchets in the hips, that feels like the Fanstoys I know. The soft ratchets in the arms, I'm not sure what's going on there, what sort of turn we're taking. Objective again. I'm really trying, guys. My take is coming, and I think it's coming now, so to speak. I get the need to stay in the cartoon accuracy lane. Totally get it. The sun don't shine if sun don't shine. But as a result of those choices, you have all of that panel breakup stuff for the transformation sitting on the outside of the leg, making the outside of the leg look messy. And I'm not talking about a soccer player. And the inside of the leg looks cool and interesting, but hides away on the inside of the leg. And that's really my hot take from this. I'm disappointed with how lifeless this seems. Like, I'm really trying with these poses, and I'm having a really difficult time turning it into anything. That doesn't mean that all of it is bad. It's not, and we'll get to the good, obviously, but it's a bummer for me. And I mean, the accessories clipping on to the spoiler and causing paint rub, that's a problem. I mean, this is a $400 figure, right? So, unacceptable. And then I don't know if it's me or not, but I can't get the alt mode closed all the way. So maybe you'll have more luck than I will, but I can't get it fully closed, which is a bummer. Once again, $400. Moving on to the positives, once again, let's start with articulation. Hips, great. Ankle rocker, great. Shoulders, with the exception of the Billify joint, above average. Hands, wrists, good to go. Neck, head, good to go. Paint, typical Fanstoys fantasticness. Plastic, feels like Fanstoys is lacking the die cast. There may be some in there, but it's barely any, which is probably the way they should have gone from the beginning, but since they didn't, it feels inconsistent with the rest of the set. Sculpt work is fine. Some parts are better than others, but it's good enough at least. Comes with the appropriate accessories. And honestly, the transformation's another bright side to this. I might have fumbled along the way. I have a tendency to fumble, but it doesn't mean that I can't recognize when it's relatively easy and it's a me thing and not a it thing, especially with some of the stuff I've been looking at recently, whether it be the Kang toy stuff or Dreamstar toys to be even worse. This was a breath of fresh air. It's relatively straightforward. It doesn't get in the way. It's fun enough. You can flip this back and forth, I think, so that's all cool. And a lot of the alt mode, with the exception of the crack in the center of it, looks pretty good to me. I could nitpick and say there's like 2 notches in the back of the vehicle that don't really work well either, but it looks good enough. And I like the chrome detailings on the wheels and stuff, so. Yeah, it's, look, it's one of those things where if you already have the other 4, you know, it's good enough to go ahead and finish the set, but it's the weakest of the 5. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And if this was a standalone figure, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you want a cohesive set, this brings down the average of the group, but the average was pretty high before he arrived. So I hope that makes sense or at least helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.